Hello there, my beautiful, fiery Aries souls, and welcome back to Astrology Unlocked. I'm your guide on this cosmic journey, and today we need to talk about something seismic, something that is going to shake the very foundations of the world you have so fiercely and bravely built for yourself. If you are tuning into this message right now, I have a feeling it's because you've already sensed it. That subtle electric charge in the air, that warrior's instinct deep in your gut telling you that a battle you thought was long over is about to return to your doorstep. We are talking about a moment that will test your fire, challenge your pride, and ultimately offer you a chance at a freedom you haven't felt in years. And before we dive into this, if you have ever felt the sting of a betrayal so deep, it changed the very person you are, I want you to let me know in the comments by writing, "My fire has been tested, but it has never..." Your story matters, and by sharing it, you let other Aries warriors know they are not alone. And if you haven't already, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel and press that notification bell. This journey we are on is a profound one, and I want to make sure you have every piece of guidance you need as we navigate it together. Now let's get to the heart of it. Very soon, your phone is going to light up with a name you thought you had deleted from your universe. A message will appear, a ghost from the past, or maybe in a twist of cosmic irony, you will turn a corner and see a face that you have spent years trying to forget. And in that exact, heart-stopping second, every defense mechanism you have will ignite. The air will feel thick, your heart will begin to pound like a war drum against your ribs, and that fiery Aries blood will start to boil. You will feel a surge of adrenaline you haven't experienced in years, not since the last time you saw them. Because that person, yes, that person, the one who wounded you in a way that left a permanent scar on your soul, the one who committed an act of betrayal you swore on your very honor you would never ever forgive, is coming back. They are returning from the ashes of the world you burned down between you. And they want to talk. They want to explain. They want to look you in the eyes and try to fix the wreckage they left behind. They want to ask for your forgiveness. And you, my proud, indomitable Aries, are going to feel completely ambushed by this. Because for years, you've done what Aries does best. You met fire with fire. You didn't just build walls around that wound. You built a fortress of flames, a monument to your own resilience. You've spent all this time convincing yourself and the entire world that you moved on, that it doesn't matter anymore, that you are far too strong, too busy conquering your next mountain to still care about what they did. But the truth, and you know this in the quiet moments when your guard is down, is that you never truly forgot. An Aries may forgive, but the memory of the battle, the sting of dishonor, never completely fades. You didn't bury the pain like other signs might. You tried to outrun it, to burn it away with new passions and new fights. But the embers of that betrayal have been glowing quietly in the deepest part of your soul, just waiting for a gust of wind to reignite the flames. And that moment, my friend, is arriving now. This person who is returning to your orbit carries a weight you know all too well because you're the one who handed it to them. It is the weight of knowing they wronged an Aries, and that is a heavy burden to bear. They have likely spent all this time living with the phantom heat of your anger, with the knowledge that they destroyed something pure and true with you. They broke the warrior's code of loyalty. And now, whether through courage, desperation, or a long overdue crisis of conscience, they have finally worked up the nerve to face your fire again, to stand before you, the one who sees through all dishonesty, and finally admit the truth. I was wrong. What I did was inexcusable. I hurt you, and I need to try and make it right, even if I know it's impossible. You already know exactly who this person is, don't you? Their name flashed in your mind like a lightning strike the moment I began speaking. This wasn't just a casual hurt or a minor disagreement. This was a soul-level betrayal. This was the person who saw your magnificent, trusting, childlike heart, the one you hide behind your armor and they targeted it. The one you gave your unwavering loyalty to, who then used that loyalty as a weapon against you. The person who saw your vulnerabilities and instead of protecting them, chose to strike you where you were most exposed. Their mistake wasn't some clumsy accident. It was a conscious choice, a deliberate act of betrayal that fundamentally altered the way you engage with the world. For my Aries, born between March 21st and March 31st, this person is very likely connected to a passionate, all-consuming romance that ended in a fiery explosion of betrayal. A love where you gave your all, only to have that trust shattered by deception. For those born between April the 1st and April 10th, this past mistake is more likely tied to a deep-seated rivalry or a creative partnership. Someone you considered an ally, perhaps even a best friend, who chose to compete with you or betray you for their own gain, a deep professional wound. And for my Aries, born between April 11th and April 19th, this person represents a betrayal of faith from someone you looked up to as a mentor or a family figure, someone who was supposed to guide and protect your flame, but instead tried to extinguish it. The mistake this person made was not small. It wasn't something time could simply sand down and smooth over. It was seismic. It was them choosing another path when they swore to walk beside you. It was them sharing a secret you entrusted to them in your most vulnerable moment. It was them abandoning you on the battlefield when you needed them most. It was a lie or a series of lies delivered with a straight face. While they swore on their honor, they were telling the truth. It was an act that made you the most courageous sign in the zodiac question. Your own judgment and your ability to ever trust anyone that completely again. And you, being the magnificent Aries that you are, didn't just feel the pain. You went to war with it. You channeled it. You transformed that searing pain into pure, unadulterated fuel. Their betrayal became the catalyst for you to become even more fiercely independent, even more driven, even more protective of your. You used the anger to build a new empire from the ashes of the old one. You became stronger, faster, and more formidable. And it worked. You didn't just survive, you thrived. You proved to them and to yourself that you didn't need them. But there was a price for that victory, wasn't there? The price was a layer of cynicism that now coats your beautifully optimistic heart. The price was always keeping a part of yourself in reserve, never giving 100% of your trust away again. The price was constantly testing the people who came after, waiting for them to show their true colors, expecting them to eventually let you down. You turned your wound into a weapon, but in doing so, you've had to carry its weight everywhere you go. Your fortress of fire kept others out, but it also kept a part of you trapped inside. And now, this person wants to breach the walls. They want to come before you and finally surrender. They want to admit their wrongdoing, take the blame, and beg for your forgiveness. And the very idea of this is stirring up a tempest inside of you that you did not expect. Because there is a huge part of you, the proud warrior part, that wants to give them nothing. that doesn't want to give them the satisfaction of knowing they still have the power to affect you, that wants to show them a cold, indifferent face and let them know their apology is a decade too late and a dollar too short. But there's another part of you isn't there, a quieter, more honest part that feels a flicker of something else, a flicker of curiosity, a desire to finally get the answers you never received, to understand why, to finally hear the words of accountability that you deserved all those years ago. And maybe, just maybe, there's a deep, profound weariness of carrying so much anger. It is exhausting to keep a fire of rage burning for years. It takes so much of your precious creative life force energy. My dear Aries, I know how you're feeling. There is a primal urge inside you to just ignore the message, to block the number, to turn and walk away if you see them on the street, to make them feel the sting of your rejection, to let them know they no longer have access to you. And then there is that other voice, the one that whispers, "What if this conversation is not for them, but for me? What if this is the key I need to finally set myself free?" Because holding a grudge is like holding a hot coal with the intent of throwing it at someone else. You are the one who gets burned. You've pretended you dropped that coal years ago, but the truth is, it has been searing your spirit this entire time. Have you spent years running from this pain, building a new life on top of it, but never truly digging up the roots? This conversation this person wants to have will not be easy. It will require them to be brutally honest about their own weakness, their own selfishness, their own capacity to hurt someone who offered them nothing but loyalty. And it will require you to make a choice. The choice to listen, the choice to let them speak their piece, and the choice of what to do with their words afterward. And here is the raw, unfiltered truth, Aries. Even if they give you the most heartfelt, tear-filled, perfect apology in human history, it will not erase the past. It won't give you back the years you spent rebuilding. It won't instantly heal the armor you had to weld to your own soul. It won't magically make you trust them again. Forgiveness is not a magic wand that undoes what was done. But it could be something far more powerful. It could be the key that finally unlocks the gate of your own fiery prison. Because here is the great cosmic secret you need. When you refuse to forgive, when you keep that fire of anger and resentment stoked, you are not just punishing the person who hurt you. You are tethering yourself to them. You are choosing to remain on that old battlefield forever, locked in combat with a ghost. You are giving them free rent in your mind and in your heart. And my friend, your energy is far too valuable for that. This person's return, their desire to make amends, is not really about them finding peace. That is their journey. This is about you being presented with a sacred opportunity. The opportunity to transform that burning, infected wound into a healed scar. A scar that you can touch and remember the battle you won without feeling the searing pain of the initial blow. It's about you finally being able to hear their name without feeling that immediate visceral surge of rage. Aries, you are the pioneer of the zodiac, the master of new beginnings. You understand better than anyone that to start something new, you have to truly end what came before. You have lived 1,000 different lives in this one lifetime, constantly reinventing yourself, rising from the ashes of your own experiences like a glorious phoenix. But this specific transformation, the one that comes through the challenging act of forgiveness, might be the most difficult one of all, because it requires you to let go of a narrative that has become a core part of your identity. You have built so much of the person you are today in response to what they did. Your independence, your "I don't need anyone" attitude, your strategies for self-protection, all of it was forged in the fires of that betrayal. And there is a subconscious fear that if you let go of the anger, if you forgive, you might lose the very fire that has propelled you forward, as if your anger is the engine that drives you. But your anger is not your engine, it's your anchor. You have been dragging this anchor for so long that you've mistaken its weight for strength. But true strength, my dear Aries, does not come from holding on to righteous anger. It comes from the courage to let go. It comes from choosing your own peace over your desire for their punishment. It comes from deciding that your future is too bright to be lived in the shadow of a past hurt. When this person reaches out, you will have a monumental decision to make. And that decision should not be about whether they deserve your forgiveness. That is irrelevant. The decision should be about whether you deserve your own freedom. Because ultimately, forgiving isn't saying, "What you did is okay." It's not forgetting or pretending it didn't hurt. It is looking the past straight in the eye and declaring, "It happened, it mattered, it changed me, but I refuse to let it define one more day of my future." This interaction can unfold in a number of ways. They might approach you with genuine humility, owning every part of their mistake without a single excuse. Or they might try to soften the blow, to offer a half-hearted apology that minimizes the damage they caused. And here's the most important part: you, with your incredible Aries intuition, your built-in lie detector, will know instantly which version you are dealing with. You will feel the truth in your bones. You must use that powerful perception not to launch an attack, but to make a clear strategic decision about how to proceed. But no matter what their motivation is, the ultimate choice remains yours. Are you ready to be free? Because you can reject their apology and remain bound to them by the chains of your own anger, or you can choose to forgive, and in doing so, you don't just release them, you release yourself. Forgiving doesn't mean you have to let them back into your life. It simply means you are finally evicting them from your soul. Before this conversation happens, prepare for an internal war. You will swing wildly between wanting to hear them out and wanting to tell them to get lost, between a flicker of hope that this could bring closure and a deep-seated fear that it will only rip open the scar. All of these feelings are valid. This is not the time for impulsive Aries action. Allow yourself to feel the fire of your anger. Acknowledge the deep ache of the pain that you never fully processed. But also, listen for that quiet voice inside that might be whispering about the profound relief that could come from finally truly closing this chapter. The conversation itself might reveal things you never considered. It might provide context that, while not excusing their actions, adds a layer of understanding. It might show you that the villain in your story was also just a flawed human being, making terrible choices out of fear or weakness. Or it could confirm everything you always suspected, that they acted out of pure selfishness. And if that's the case, you will have the final definitive validation that cutting them out was the best decision you ever made. There will be no more what-ifs. True power, Aries, lies not in a blanket refusal to ever forgive. It lies in the wisdom to know when forgiveness is an act of self-liberation. It lies in recognizing the difference between a person who is genuinely sorry and one who is just trying to manipulate you again. It lies in the profound understanding that you can forgive someone completely while also choosing to never allow them access to your world again. When the time comes to talk, you must be the general of this engagement. Set your terms. Decide when and where. A neutral location where you feel in control. Do not let them dictate the circumstances of this meeting. This is your healing on your timeline. And when you are in that conversation, allow your Aries truth to come blazing forth. Do not downplay your pain to make them more comfortable. Do not accept excuses. If they truly want to make amends, they need to be strong enough to witness the full impact of their actions. And you deserve the catharsis of speaking that truth out loud, but also challenge yourself to listen. Not with the intent to pardon, but with the intent to understand. After the conversation is over, you will need time. Do not force an instant decision. Retreat to your fortress, not to hide, but to process. Let their words settle. See how you feel in the days that follow. Does the fire inside you feel calmer or more agitated? Forgiveness, if it comes, will likely arrive in waves. First, a small release of tension. Then a day where you don't think of them at all. Until one day, you will realize that you can remember what happened without the accompanying inferno of rage. And on that day, you will discover that you are lighter, you are freer, and your magnificent, courageous heart is more open and ready to love and trust than it has been in years. Aries, your superpower is your capacity for renewal. This is another chance for a rebirth, the death of the version of you who is defined by a past betrayal, and the birth of the version of you who has claimed true victory by choosing peace. This person is unintentionally offering you a profound gift. It is the opportunity to consciously decide what to do with the pain you've been carrying. You can continue to carry it, or you can set it down and walk away unburdened and free. And whatever you decide about them, please decide to forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for trusting a promise that was broken. Forgive yourself for not seeing it sooner. Forgive yourself for still being affected by it. Forgive yourself for being a beautiful, trusting human soul. This is your moment of liberation. Your next great adventure is waiting, and it requires you to travel light. The time to leave the baggage of the past behind is now. You are the warrior of the zodiac, and this is your final victory in this long and arduous war. Claim your peace. You've earned it.